Hey guys, it's Tristan Cologne. Welcome back. Today I am going to be talking about SHAZAM. I saw it yesterday and I gotta say, it was awesome. It was great. A little synopsis for those few people who do not know what SHAZAM is. It's based off of the DC Comics universe, and it's about a 14-year-old kid named Billy Batson who suddenly finds these wizard powers from a guy named SHAZAM. So then all he has to do is say one magic word, which is, you probably know what it is, SHAZAM. And then he becomes this grown-up superhero. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, to just get right into it, like I said, it was an awesome time, a lot of fun. They cracked a lot of jokes. And surprisingly, it started off with the villain's backstory, which was interesting, but it also made you feel for the character because he was kind of an unwanted person. His father, his brother didn't really accept him, and he would always like shake this 8-ball and stuff, this magic 8-ball. They would say, magic's not real. Next thing you know, boom, he gets transported into like a different dimension and he meets the wizard SHAZAM. So the guy is testing him, SHAZAM, and is like, okay, you need to be purest of heart and basically, you know, good of all good guys. Suddenly he gets tempted by these 7 statues, which look like gargoyles. They're supposed to represent the 7 deadly sins. So they tempt him into grabbing another power source, which will release the demons into the world. SHAZAM stops him, obviously, and he finds out there that he's not worthy. Boom, he comes back into the real world, and then here starts the movie, SHAZAM. Now, by the way, Dr. Zavanna is the name of the villain, played by Mark Strong, which is, he always sells a villain character, so that wasn't a shock for me there. Now, then we go into Billy Batson, who's kind of he's a dick, to be honest. It opens up him at some store, and cops come because they said there was a theft there. So it ends up being him, and he locks the cops in, and he starts to type in Batson, his mother's name, and to find out, you know, where his real mother is, because there's a flashback of him as a kid, and he, you know, obviously he was with his mother. He loses his mother at this festival, and then here comes this 14 years later, he's still searching for his biological mother after going from foster home to foster home to foster home. He doesn't really want to be part of these foster families because he knows his real mom is out there. So he doesn't really give a shit about the foster homes. He just like runs out of all the homes, and he doesn't just take the love that is given to him. But here comes this new family that he's brought up to, and he's introduced to Freddy, and he's played by Jack Dylan Grazer, which I think he's awesome. He steals the show much more than the kid who plays, what's his name? Billy. I think his name is Asher Angel. That took me longer than I thought. Asher Angel, one thing, he was kind of flat for me, to be honest. He was kind of flat with his lines, and I kind of didn't feel for him. One thing I think he did pull off was that he was a dick. You know, that was kind of his character. He was like a dick kid that he didn't want like anybody else in his life. He didn't want to bring anyone else in his life. You know, he has a family with open arms, and he doesn't want to take it. He's just prioritized one thing. So when you go back to Dr. Zavanna, obviously he has a lot of money because of his father's company, and he starts to do all these research on this phenomena of other people seeing this wizard and how they could be destined to get his power, but, you know, it doesn't work out for all those people. So eventually he finds out a sequence of symbols to get into this alternate dimension through a door. And it just kind of reminds me of Monsters Inc. when they just go into when the monsters jump into the door and they'll be at a different place. He finally meets up with the wizard again when Dr. Zavana's all grown up. And he didn't even want to take Shazam's power. He just goes straight to the Sin's power, and then boom, here comes our villain, Dr. Zavana. And then this is where our movie gets really good, because you see Billy get a little bit of heroism when Freddy is getting bullied by some kids at school. Now Freddy, he's like I wouldn't say disabled, he's kind of handicapped, and those kids were taking advantage of him. So Billy jumps in, and fights back, and that is what triggers him going into the Shazam dimension. And there is Shazam, the old wizard, gives him, the whole backstory about the wizards, and obviously Billy's not having it. But out of desperation, he tells him to put his power inside of him. And like I said, that's when the ball starts rolling. So boom, he gets the powers transferred to him. And now, Billy's freaking out, and he only knows one person he can contact, and that's Freddy. Because Freddy is a big DC superhero film. As you can see, if you watch the movie, not film, but I'm saying he likes DC superheroes. He has a replica Batarang. He has a Superman bullet, like a bullet that was shot at Superman and it was like crushed. And he's kind of a pro at this, powers and what to do and this and that. So he kind of uses him as a guide. And they poke fun of the superhero genre, and they do vlogging. Like I did a reaction earlier to the trailer of Shazam, and I mentioned that I love how they're vlogging it, and they even put it on YouTube and stuff, and that's how they get popular. Not Freddy himself, but Shazam as the superhero gets popular. But that's how it is this day and age, everyone's trying to stream. I thought Zachary Levi he sold it. He was awesome as Shazam, and honestly, he was one of the best parts. Probably the best part, because he honestly seemed to be more of a kid than Asher himself. Asher's a kid, and he didn't even seem like he was a kid to me. Zachary Levi was a joyful kid, and it just made you, it made you want to be him, at some points. But he was still being a dick to him. He was still being a dick. He was still thinking about himself. Zachary Levi and Jack Grazer come together. They have some great banter between each other, and that's what really sells the film to me, I think. But yeah, like I said about Grazer's character, he's a very big DC hero fan. So they have the different heroes, special call outs and stuff. He has an Aquaman shirt at one point. They even use a Batarang to hurt Dr. Savannah in one of the scenes, which I thought was great. I didn't think they were gonna use other DC hero stuff like that much in the film, which kind of shows to you that the DC universe, cohesive universe, is still gonna be out there in the long run, which I thought was great. So then we get towards the end of the film, and we have Billy finding his mother, his biological mother, with the help of his unwanted foster family. So you know what, he's here to see his mother. Why don't we give him the chance to see his mother? So he gets there, and he realizes that his mom does not even want him. And this is where the story comes full circle. And this is where I really appreciate the movie, because it has an overall theme, and the protagonist actually learns a lesson. And, that's something that, not to, take shots at Aquaman. Aquaman was great, but I felt like Aquaman did not learn anything from the beginning to end, where versus Billy actually learns that his family was there with him all along, trying to go away from his foster family when that was his true loving family from the beginning. And the kids were great. And I think one of the kids that stood out to me was the girl who played Darla. I'm trying to remember her name right now. Faith Herman. She was adorable. I thought all of her lines were just so cute and kind of hinted at, you know, how great his family is. But obviously he doesn't find out to the end, which I thought was great. So this is where, you know, where he has to save the day because his foster family's in trouble. They're about to be eaten alive by these crazy, ugly demons. So he realizes that he needs help, you know? He can't defeat this guy on himself. So he realizes he has all these worthy people around him, his family. So they have the staff of SHAZAM. And again, spoilers, guys. I forgot to mention that. There's spoilers in this. His family all takes a grab at the staff, and they all say SHAZAM. Boom! Next thing you know, his whole family is all SHAZAMmed out. I say SHAZAMmed out because they all have the lightning emblem. They're all grown up, and they're all superheroes. I thought it was a very pleasant surprise. I was not gonna expect another group of superheroes to be on the screen. But it was a great touch, and it was a great way to basically, you know, sum up the whole message of the film. And it's about family, and he finally found his family, which overall, you know, I thought gave out a great message, you know, for everyone. And it was really funny because there were some people that I recognized. I know the guy who plays Pedro, he becomes the DJ Cortana is the SHAZAM version of himself. And of course, the adorable Darla is Megan Good, which I thought she was freaking hilarious playing a little girl. So that was just tons of fun. And also, Freddy also has his own arc, you know, Grazer's character. He loves, like I said, he loves superheroes. He collects all the memorabilia. And finally, at the end, he becomes a superhero himself. They even add some small details that you don't even notice. Like, since he knows so much about superheroes, he's the first one to, I wouldn't say first one, but he's the fastest one that knows how to fly and all that fun stuff. So, but overall, like I said, fun time at the movies. Very funny. It's taking DC into a new direction, and it's going to be a good direction. And I love that it is still, versus other films, it is playing and poking fun at not only DC Universe, but the superhero genre itself. Like, there was this one funny moment where, like, SHAZAM and Dr. Sivana, the villain, are flying up, and they're staring at each other down. And it almost resembles Man of Steel, how, like, they kind of talk to each other about what they're going to do to each other and this and that. So Mark's character, Mark Strong, Dr. Sivana, is like, I'm going to rip your heart out, this, and that. And then it cuts to SHAZAM, and he's like, I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. Which, you know, was realistic, and I thought was a great way to poke fun at superhero movies, you know. Because some people would say it's oversaturated with movies. But I'm not complaining, because I love, obviously you could tell, I love any superhero movie that comes out. There's only one thing that bothered me, and again, spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, I hope you haven't been watching this, unless you don't care about film watching experience. The only thing that bothered me was the very end, and that was where Freddy's character's at lunch, and, you know, again, no one's really fond of him. And there was this little bit where, like, you know, he tried to stand up to the bullies and say that he knew SHAZAM, and he was going to show up to lunch, because, you know, that was Billy. But obviously Billy making the dick move to leave him during you know, during his dick phase. He was showing off in Philadelphia with his with his lightning with my hands, lightning with my hands. That was very funny. They did Eye of the Tiger, but he was saying lightning with my hands. Oh, they should have shout out to Rocky, but oh my god, that was funny. But another thing I'm just thinking about now, it takes place in Philly. But I thought DC had their like own made up cities. So I don't know if Shazam takes place in Philly or I mean, they're probably more right than me, but who knows. But I'm just drifting off. But anyway, he comes back, Shazam comes back to the lunch table and surprises all the kids and finally makes up for, you know, impressing, so Freddy can impress his friends. Next thing you know, he's like, I brought someone else. Boom, John Williams scored, starts to play. It's Superman. Emblem is out and about. He's walking. I'm like, oh my God, they did it. Because there were reports saying that there's going to be a scene where Superman comes up. Henry Cavill's Superman. You know, he's the Superman of this DCEU, DC Extended Universe, whatever you want to call it. But like I said in my Shazam trailer video, Ben Affleck is out as Batman. Even Cyborg, Ray Fisher's out as Cyborg. And then Superman is up in the air. We don't know if Henry Cavill's going to play him or not. And this, I felt like kind of solidified it more. So they show Superman, and then they have a shot of Shazam Superman, except Superman's head is cut off. So literally it was some guy that just stood in and wore the Superman suit because Henry Cavill probably did not want to do this scene, or they, you know, he's probably not gonna be Superman anymore. And this kind of shows you, like I said, it solidifies it more that he's probably not gonna play him anymore. So that's the only thing that bothered me. But some last things I'd like to say. You already know superhero film, there's gonna be mid and post credit scenes, so we're gonna talk about those. There's two. Again, we're going into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to know this, get out the video now. So the first one's the mid-credit scene, and it's actually more important than the post, because post-credit scenes are being less important nowadays. So I guess they don't want you to sit through the credits. So I'm not too much of a Shazam fan, so I don't know what really happened. So please, guys, don't, you know, tear me up on this. Maybe you guys, you hardcore Shazam fans, can help me out and down on the comments tell me what this mid-credits scene's about. But it has Dr. Sivana in prison, and he's obviously like anxious, and he wants to get back into this other dimension. He craves for this magic power. Next thing you know, he stumbles upon a talking caterpillar. Resembles Alice in Wonderland very much. But then he just talks about 7 realms are in trouble and we're going to be working together. Not much for me to be excited about, because again, I'm not sure what that character is and what they're going to do. But again, please let me know in the comments on, if anyone does know that character, please let me know in the comments. Last one is the post-credit scene. Like I said, it's not too much, not important at all, really. That's becoming less and less of a trend, where post-credit scenes are just little, you know, extra scenes, you know, if you didn't get enough, you thought. So it was just Shazam, Billy Shazam, and Freddy taking shots at Aquaman. They were basically trying to see if he could talk to a fish, and it's obviously not working. And he was like, what's so cool about talking to fish? And he's like, well, there's someone that can, I don't remember, but he was like, well, there's someone that could talk to billions of them. And he was like, all right, fair enough. So again, they were doing a little shout out to Aquaman, again, which I thought was great, because the universe is still there, it seems like. So that's very exciting. But overall, I recommend you guys seeing it. Let me know what you guys thought of Shazam in the comments below, and be sure to like the video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll catch you guys later.